Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're calling from. Thanks for joining us today. We'll dive right in case anybody joins late or you have any colleagues, we can share a recording or the slide deck. So Dave Miller here, President at eMAM. Sorry for my cold. So fortunately, I won't be doing too much talking. And I'm going to turn it over to Chuck Bulow, our VP Business Development. He's going to share the new features, integrations, everything else we have going on with our newest version 5.5 of our eMAM platform. So
all right, thanks
for your interest, and I'm going to turn it to Chuck. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave. So we'll go ahead and go through a few slides here, and once we get done towards the end there, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick demonstration of some of the new AI features that we have built in. Now, with eMAM, over the last several years, our team has built in AI services with Amazon, with Google, Watson, Azure, and others. So we've done basically integration with these services to give you facial recognition, annotation, speech to text, branding, various things. So these are all trainable models that we can actually then give either path or upload proxies to these services. They then feed back to us all of that information. And then all of that information that's stored inside of the database would be able to be searchable and be able to find and look for spoken words and so on. Now, we've added quite a few here this last NAB here that we just had a few weeks ago. So we've added OpenAI, Whisper, 12 Labs, DeepGram, and OpenAI Dolly. So this again gives you a little bit more speech to text, generative AI, being able to then do a lot of metadata tagging, annotations, highlights, chapters, summaries of all types of media, audio, as well as video, and so on. So a lot of flexible options as well. So most of the AI services typically will have you upload or give links to your media for proxy and then be able to analyze the media and then give back the data. Some are actually then offering on-prem services as well. So you're actually then buying a license from them and actually setting up the AI service locally as well. So kind of going through these, 12 Labs is one of the latest. We use their Pegasus and Marengo AI service. And the cool thing about this is, so imagine you've got videos, you can't find all the shots that you did of the churches, let's say in this example, and being able to then go in and type out a phrase like churches in Italy. It goes in, once you've indexed the media to the service, within your system, it'll search out back to 12 Labs and say, hey, all my media inside of eMAM, I want to find all the churches in Italy. It'll actually then go and find each of those segments and allow you then to add a marker or a subclip of that section of media. So it gives you just enormous amount of information and quickly be able to go in and find all the cuts of all the churches you had. You can, of course, expand or shrink down that subclip or just go ahead and add a marker. So then your editors can use that within Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve. So on the editing applications, you can also do hard cuts and so on within the eMAM system. But 12 Labs has given us just a great tool now just to quickly go in and find all those different shots that you're looking for. Now they've also added or given us the ability with the tool set here to create chapters, summaries, and highlights of that media as well, based on a word or phrases that you're looking for. So like I just went in and typed out churches, and it gave me the chapter points of all the different churches. And then it also gives you information about that section of the video as well. So within eMAM, and then I'm going to show you also within Adobe Premiere, you can actually then go in and create that subclip, drop it right onto a timeline or create a marker for that media. And then you have information about the shot in that section or that subclip. And all of that information, again, once again, is all searchable as well. So now we've also added DeepGram speech to text in translation and so on. But what you're able to do now is upload your media audio files or video files, and then be able to then have DeepGram give you then speech to text back. Now they support, I think it's 35 different languages. So you can check out their website and look at their service, but it provides you with, again, speech to text. It gives you a caption file with all of the captions. And again, you can preview those and then of course search on any of that information within the caption file. You also have a summary, topics, and entities, and you're able to then search on very specific words and phrases within the summary, as well as topics and entities as well, and different words and so on. So again, DeepGram with this service gives you complete speech to text caption files. Every word or phrase is completely searchable. You also have the ability to go in and edit that information as well, store it, and keep it with the eMAM database. So that's actually local. On the 12 labs, the portion that we were talking about is actually up in the DeepGram, or I'm sorry, in the 12 labs database. But if you do add subclips and markers and keep that within the MAM system, that information is actually local to the eMAM system. In DeepGram's case, it's all dropped down into the eMAM system and stored within the local database there as well. So again, you can go through, it'll give you summaries, and then of course topics and entities of each video or audio file that you do submit to them. And again, all of this information completely is searchable now within the eMAM system. So if I'm looking for a particular topic and search for my entire database of video or audio files, then I can actually go in and search for that particular topic, go in, look at the summary of that topic, and then be able to then select that media and then go ahead and do my edits and cuts and various selections of that media. We've also added OpenAI Whisper. So again, this is an on-premise deployment of Whisper, providing specific designed on-premise deployments, enhanced speech recognition. And again, all of this information then comes back into the MAM system, stored within eMAM, and then of course is is all searchable, very cost-effective on-premise solution that you could just go ahead and deploy locally. And then again, all of your media can then be processed locally using this. There's also cloud-based versions as well with this, but again, OpenAI and Whisper. Dolly is kind of interesting. So you're able to, with Dolly, go ahead and type in a phrase within a web page and actually get an image. Like in this case here, a woman running through an airport. This is the image that they drew up for us. And then we can use that, of course, in our productions and various things that we're looking for. But basically, you just go in, click on the link that I'm going to show you within the eMAM system. It opens up the Dolly interface or a web page that we've created. We've customized one for us just for testing and so on. But you type in a phrase and then be able to then get the image back from them, and then of course use that in your production as well. So it's quite unique, interesting photos, various things that the AI service then provides you, and of course you can use those any which way you'd like, and so on. So we've also now integrated with MOG systems for ingest and also delivery and transcoding. So MOG systems has various ways in which you can do live encodes. We're working on the live integration within eMAM, but for the most part with MOG, you can actually then schedule records. That media then shows up inside of eMAM with the proxy, and then of course you can start doing cutting and so on, or editing of that video as well. We can use their transcoder. They have a quite unique transcoder where you can set up different types of workflows within the transcoder and be able to do different types of codecs and various things. And then of course also on delivery and playout, we're able to then send it over back to MOG systems, and they can do whatever they like with it at that point. But the nice thing is that we're kind of the central repository of all ingested media, edited media, and then for making it ready for delivery and play out there as well. So again, MOG systems completely integrated now with them. We've also added the ability to use Apache Airflow. This is an automated workflow engine. So you're able to use both Apache and then Google Sheets to basically come up with different types of workflows to do various things outside of the eMAM system and then be able to integrate back into the eMAM system, being able to provide multiple type workflows and design workflows where things are triggered based on metadata change or dates or various events that happen within the eMAM system. We can then trigger the Apache Airflow workflows and then be able to trigger some type of event like schedule records, being able to then notify editors that new media is available to them, send media off to archive, send media for delivery, and so on. One demo that we were doing where we had a Google Sheet that we just started filling in, created a project. It opened up inside of the eMAM system with a project, as well as categories for media to be ingested into. It scheduled recordings through whatever hardware you have for doing recordings or live recordings or baseband streaming as well. And then when the media does show up, it goes into the categories, then the editors are notified, and then at that point the media is edited and then also delivered at that point. But this is just an example of the type of workflows that Apache could help you with, Airflow could help you with in expanding the workflow capabilities within the eMAM system as well. We have a new partnership with Dell Technologies. So Dell has worked hard with us to develop packages for all of their storage that they sell. So different storage levels. So high production, high speed storage versus say archive or NAS storage and object storage and so on. So we work closely with Dell Technologies to be able to then put together solutions for hardware and the correct ones, either through resellers or through Dell, being able to then sell eMAM and package it up with all the Dell technology as well. Okay. Also, what we've added to the share or eShare, eBin, this is where you are able to take media and then share with others internally or externally links to proxies and then give them options. So download, forward, rate. If they're users within the system, they can add subclips and markers, timecode-based comments and various things. But what we've added is the ability to actually do overlays of text and images on the output of that proxy. So if the content is sensitive, then you can go ahead and just put a overlay on top of that media there as well. So that's a new feature we've added. We've now integrated with NLT, near archive integration or systems. So with their technology, this is the ability to take media from an Avid and move it into eMAM over to Avid, or just have eMAM index media that's in the Avid system in one or multiple locations, and to be able to see within the eMAM system what media you have in an Avid system and on their storage, and then be able to then find that content and then be able to share that content with either eMAM, Interplay, you got Avid iNews as well, being able to then move media back and forth or to the archive system. The NLT archive system, they store archive as well. We do archiving as well within the eMAM system. You can also work with Avid iNews as well. So any media inside of eMAM could be moved over to the Avid iNews system, or any information or video that are produced from Avid and for iNews, they can move it over to the eMAM system and archive or share with others as well. But it just brings now the link between Avid and eMAM, either through watch folders, and being able to then share metadata back and forth between Avid and eMAM as well. So all of that information that's stored within the Avid system is also metadata is also then the same metadata is now also stored inside the eMAM system. So it gives you a lot of flexibility now with that OP1A, OP-ATOM configuration and support of the different file formats, and being able to share media back and forth between Avid. So quite nice now, not having to worry about any problems with sharing media back and forth, and also keeping the media in the native Avid format there as well. So DaVinci Resolve we added last year, but continue to improve then on the workflows and integration with DaVinci Resolve, being able to share media projects, subclip information, also marker information, being able to store and manage different projects and have people check out or download projects that are stored or archived inside of eMAM, being able to share that content in media as well. So quite nice if all the media, let's say, is uploaded into the eMAM system, and then all the DaVinci Resolve editors can then go in and find that content, and then of course import that into projects as well. So definitely have full management capabilities of DaVinci. So all of the projects, everything that's there, we can go ahead and then share and then store and archive and organize inside of the eMAM system. So quite nice there. And again, we continue to support the Adobe Creative Cloud right now, 2024 versions. So again, we just keep updating the different panel. And within the panel, of course, any new features and so on that come out from Adobe, we go ahead and add to the eMAM system. I'm going to show you here next the integration also with Avid. I'm sorry, with Adobe eMAM and the AI technology there as well. So what we'll do here, let's go over to 12 Labs. So this was one of the first slides I showed you. So this is 12 Labs working here. And what we're able to do within 12 Labs is use this new feature in advanced search called federated search. So I can go ahead and type in a phrase like churches in Italy. And what it does for me is you're able to then go in and find all of these spots and then jump right to it. And then you're also able to go in and then save that information inside of eMAM. So again, this information that's in the middle here with what we call our Insights widget, and this comes from Marengo here, so 12 Labs. This was a proxy we sent up to them, or a path to the information. They then indexed the media and kept the data with regards to the indexing and the phrasing that I'm looking for, like in this case, churches. This information then I can click on here and add a marker or a subclip, and then that information is now stored inside of eMAM. And the nice thing about it is this information for subclips is stored locally in my eMAM system. This information is still up in the 12 Labs, but I've actually transferred that information now and made it local here, so I don't have to re-index. I can just go in and then search for the different churches that I've been looking for here as well. So now we've also got the other option. Let me switch over here. This is where you can go in and create from that same media the highlights, the summaries, and the chapters of that that same video. Now I typed in churches here and I said generate, and what it gives me now is that information with regards to that church, and I can actually then save that information now in subclips, or I could save that within markers as well. So I can actually then go in and jump, and it's hard to see here, but there's a little yellow area here. This is the subclip of that area where they were talking about that particular church. And so I could expand that time code, you know, put a little more heads or tails on this subclip, and then drop that into, say, a timeline, or then feed that over into Adobe Premiere. Then DeepGram. What we provide with DeepGram is, this is the information with regards to speech to text. And so this information then shows up as a caption file that I can edit So I could edit this. I could also export that transcript. So that could go out as a file. But then again, I also have summary and topics and entities where we can highlight some of the keywords that were also spoken there as well. Okay. Now, the other thing I talked about was DALL-E. So this is the image generator. So I have a link here. This is actually a new feature we've just added where you can actually store quick links to various things like training videos or YouTube or various sites that you want to just quickly jump to while you're in the eMAM system and have it open up as a new tab. And so with this DALL-E, what I've done is gone ahead and created an image, but this was one of the pages that we just generated quickly. So we could create a link and then type in a phrase and then use the DALL-E OpenAI service to say, hey, give me a sailboat that's sailing in the ocean. And so this actually then drew this picture with some information here. And again, I can actually go in and upload this right back to eMAM. So it'll become a new asset for me. But then I could actually go in and say, you know, instead of a sailboat, I want a big ship or something different. It'll redraw for me a new image. And then of course, then I can also go ahead and upload to eMAM. All right, so that's DALL-E. And then over in Adobe Premiere, I promised you showing some of the key features we have now for AI within the panel. And so this is a project that I created. This is an asset that I have, this tour of Italy. And again, I went in and typed out that same phrase that was the Pegasus engine that we're using or AI service. And so I can go ahead and create highlights for myself within the panel. So this is an asset that's inside of eMAM. I imported into my project here. I then typed in a phrase here based on that project name and with that, or I'm sorry, with that file name. And then I said, give me churches and highlights of churches, and I hit generate. And this is what it gave me. So it broke down then all the churches with some information here. I could play this, or I could actually just have it drop right down onto the timeline. And so with that information then is the editor could go in and look at some of the media that's been indexed and be able to then quickly go ahead and have it produce some of the highlights or some of the chapter points and various things of the video, and then start cutting and using the different cuts based on the AI service that was provided. So quite unique in this situation here with this technology, and then editors can use it in different ways. But again, it makes it much easier to go in and find all those cuts you're looking for, and then be able to quickly drop those into the timeline. All right, and then there's also the DALL-E prompt here. So again, I could type out something and create an image. The image would show up here and I could drop it right down onto my timeline as well. So that same DALL-E deal with the sailboat, I could do the same here and then have it actually show up right in the panel and drop that in. All right, so I think that's about it, Dave, and we will see if there's any questions.
Great, thanks so much, Chuck. And so this is our newest version, so it's in production release. So let us know, or your local partners, how you can look and test and everything else. So for the AI systems, which ones are local and which are the clouds? We kind of covered it, but I guess if you could run through it again real quick.
Yeah, I think with the 12 labs, there's options for on-prem. There's the OpenAI and DeepGram are also could be cloud or on-prem as well. And then they license based on, I believe it's number of processes that you're going to be doing over a year's time, but I believe it is a yearly license, but we can verify that.
Okay. And from our perspective, what was I going to say? We're going to, we provide connectors. So one is for the insights and one is for the transcript. Question, can we bring in captions generated from Adobe Premiere Pro?
Yes, so under Adobe Premiere Pro, there is a box called text. And so you could actually go in and transcribe from Adobe that file as well. And then that information, basically comes back here. I can then go ahead and generate then a caption file and then export that and then import that into eMAM separately. And so the way that works is, let me jump back over here, is when I look at the transcripts widget and I have that file, I can then import, say, that SRT file, and it'll be assigned now to that Epic 7-day tour and file, and be able to be searchable as well.
Okay, and if this is a duplicate question or not, sorry, 1 second. Question widget, it's not working. Oh, the panel will pull the SRT from the Adobe panel.
The panel won't, but so you're talking about the caption file that's produced from text from here, from the transcript?
Right.
Yeah, so this particular file, if you have a caption file, my understanding is you have to export this out as an SRT, and then once that's done, then that's where you can take that file and import it directly into the eMAM system.
Okay. And panel for Resolve, do you have Resolve on your desktop?
I do, so we can open up that.
It's gonna look rather familiar. And also, while he's pulling that up, it's gonna look very similar to After Effects, InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator as well.
We'll do that. And so within DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, and as long as we're waiting for Resolve, so this is gonna have to be, this would be the paid version that has the full support, not the free version.
Yes, it does
course,
require the full version, yes.
But of course, it's a deal. Well, in the scheme of things, it's a deal because it's a one-time purchase in perpetuity.
And what most users within this, you're able to let's see, workflow integrations, eMAM. So you go to Workspace, workflow integrations, and then when you actually install the panel, it'll ask you to log in to that system and connect with it. And then once you've done that, then you have full access to the project files and media as well. Sorry, I should have had this already set up. And send into that unit. Okay. So this would be all of the project files. So like I could get into the different projects here, and then I could also have full access to all the media and then import those into DaVinci as well. These also come in organized. The categories do come in. If I were to import this video and then all of these will all come in as bins with inside of DaVinci Resolve there as well. And then I can look up individual assets, and then within those individual assets, I'm able to kind of go in and preview the media as well before it comes into the eMAM system. And then basically what you're doing is selecting that media and then downloading the media. And then of course, when you're done, you can go ahead and then upload that media directly to eMAM and utilize in the local DaVinci encoder to go ahead and process for you any media or sequences that you're producing there as well. So, yep, that's how it all works.
Great. Okay. I think that was all the questions we had today. Let us know if you want a copy of either the slide deck or the webinar. Happy to, oops, and then there's one more. and we're happy to share that with you. Regarding speech to text, does it support Hebrew in on-prem deployment? I think we tested with Whisper and it was a yes.
Whisper, I think, was yes. Yes.
Certainly we could, DeepGram, it's on their website. I don't have them memorized. But I think
each one of those, it would also be best if you went directly to those services and then uploaded some sample files. And then also see what the results are and so on for each of the services. And then we can do some testing if you have media. We have demo systems and so on that you could provide us with account information, and we can actually upload media to your account and do it that way as well.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. Any other questions today? Great, well, thanks everybody. Whoops. Oh, yeah, I'll send you a copy, thank you. Thanks everybody, for your interest today, and let us know if you want more information, want to test something, want to find some partners, technical partners or our reseller partners, let us know. But thanks for your interest and have a great day. Thank you.